All right, for all the gun voters in the 5th Congressional District, Congressman Bob Good versus State Senator John McGuire. Who's going to fight for our gun rights in the United States Congress? Stay tuned, guys. We're breaking this race down for you right now. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with the American Firearms Association. The June 18 primary is coming very fast now, and there is no bigger matchup in the state than the 5th congressional primary between John McGuire and Congressman Bob Good. As everyone knows, it covers from the North Carolina border all the way up north of Charlottesville. This is not Nova, this is pro-gun country. And the question you're asking us is very simple. It's a big race. National implications, national endorsements, tons of outside money coming in, lots of issues being talked about. But your question is very simple. Who can we count on? Who can we trust to fight for our gun rights in Congress? And it's a super important question to get right, because everyone says they're pro-gun at election time, and that goes doubly true in a Republican Party primary in a place like Virginia. So everyone says they're pro-gun. Who can we count on? Who can we trust? For 4 years now, we've seen a non-stop war from Joe Biden against our freedoms. We've seen horrendous legislation filed, some of it passed. We've seen executive orders that bypass Congress and mandate gun control by executive fiat. We've seen ammo import-export bans that have doubled the price of our ammo. It's been a long 4 years, and so we need champions who will stand up and fight for our freedoms now than ever before. And so in that context, we're going to give you guys some information on these two candidates to help you guys make your own informed decision. The good news here is that Bob Good has been in Congress for 4 years, and of course, McGuire is a state senator, been in office in Richmond for quite some time. We can get past rhetoric. We can get past noise, promises, pledges. We can give you guys actual details on how these two guys have acted under fire over the last couple of years. And we're going to begin with Congressman Bob Good. Now, if you guys don't know this, the congressman began his career in politics as a Campbell County supervisor. He helped them enact their sanctuary county status several years ago. But when he got to Congress, Bob Good stood up hard and fought for our gun rights. As you guys know, this was the first 2 years of complete Democrat control in Congress. And Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and Chuck Schumer wanted to make hay while the sun was shining. Their number one goal was the assault weapons ban, so-called assault weapons ban. This was HR, 1808. A lot of pressure on this. Some Republicans actually crossed over and voted for this. Bob Good was an absolute hell no on the assault weapons ban, so-called in Congress. The date was July 29, 2022. The roll call number was 410, and again, the bill was HR 1808. Very strong showing from Congressman Good. The other major agenda item, as we all know from the Biden White House and from every radical leftist commie in the country, is universal background checks. They want all of us in a database. And frankly, we all know why. It is the precursor to gun confiscation. We know it, they know it, we all know it. They can't confiscate what they can't find. That was the goal behind Pelosi's universal background check UBC bill in Congress. It was H.R. 8. Over a dozen Republicans crossed over and voted for that crap in Congress. Bob Good was a no. This was March 11, 2021. The roll call number was 75. And again, the bill number was H.R. 8. You can verify all this stuff for yourself. The third major attack on our gun rights in the previous Congress was H.R. 2377. It's red flag gun seizures. We all know what a red flag law is now, unfortunately. It allows almost anybody to claim that you're dangerous, you're dangerous, and ask the judge to confiscate your guns before you've been convicted of anything whatsoever. It's a major agenda item for the Congress. A lot of Republicans are supporting various versions of red flag laws. When the pressure mounted, Bob Good was an absolute no on the Biden-Pelosi agenda to pass red flag gun seizures. The bill number was 2377, and the roll call number was 255. Again, look it up for yourself. Don't take anybody at face value in this primary. So every one of the major attacks on our gun rights, Bob Good held the line and voted no. But it wasn't just his no votes that caught our attention in the Congress, because Good clearly understands that we can't just be on defense. We have to push. We have to be on offense, pushing the gun rights agenda, and that means sponsoring and co-sponsoring the tough pro-gun bills of the day. So when Congressman Matt Gaetz from Florida filed his bill to abolish the ATF, this is H.R. 374, Bob Good co-sponsored that bill. The ATF, as everyone knows, it's a corrupt, tyrannical agency. It's a threat to gun owners and puppies everywhere. These people were always tyrannical, but these days, they're almost an open, hostile, weaponized asset in the hands of Joe Biden. They can't be reformed, can't be fixed, can't be restructured. It has to go. Matt Gaetz filed the bill, and Bob Good had the guts to co-sponsor that bill. Again, look it up for yourself. It's H.R. 374. The other big one, though, is the bill to repeal the National Firearms Act. It's H.R. 450. If you're a gun owner, you know what the National Firearms Act was. But today, what it's become is basically, it's a suitcase. And anytime Joe Biden wants to declare something illegal, he just unzips the suitcase and he throws pistol braces into the National Firearms Act, or bump stocks into the National Firearms Act, or a redefinition of a firearms dealer into the National Firearms Act. He bypasses the Congress. None of this gets a vote in the Congress. He tells the ATF to enforce it. It's complete tyranny. It is not how our government was designed to be set up. It is rule-making. It is law-making through executive order. The NFA has got to go, and Bob Good agrees and co-sponsored H.R. 450. So every time the pressure mounted in D.C., and as other Republicans sadly betrayed gun owners, crossed the line and voted for each one of these bills, Bob Good held his ground and voted no. And on the most pro-gun bills of this Congress, Bob Good has added his name as a co-sponsor, a very strong showing from Congressman Bob Good. That brings up John McGuire. Now, John McGuire wants everyone to believe he is 100% pro-gun. The thing about John is that he is pro-gun when it serves him, and then he's anti-gun, or he's against our gun rights when he believes that will best serve him. Let me explain what I mean. So if you haven't heard by now, John McGuire calls himself the pit bull in Richmond. He actually tells people that that was the nickname his colleagues gave him. If you ask around, you'll find out that that's a self-appointed nickname. So the pit bull goes into Richmond and he files a constitutional carry bill to claim he's 100% pro-gun. The thing is, that was all crap. He was in another primary in a different congressional district, and his opponent sponsored constitutional carry. So to prove he was the pit bull, McGuire sponsored that bill. But the reality of what he's actually done paints a very different story. In 2018, in a Henrico County newspaper, John McGuire comes out strongly calling for an expansion of background checks at the state and federal level. We all know what this means. Background checks don't stop criminals. Almost every mass shooting over the last 10 years has been carried out by someone who first passed a background check. The background checks are very simple. It's a registry of gun owners. You know it, I know it, we all know it. And John McGuire, when the pressure mounted, came out in support of expanded background checks. Heck, he bragged about the interview by putting it all over his social media accounts. He never did take it down. The other crazy thing about John McGuire, this goes back to him wanting to play both sides, is everyone's probably been to the gun rights rallies in Richmond. I've been there multiple years. It's always a great time seeing pro-gun champions, 25,000 strong in 2020. It's a great deal. And so many politicians who don't actually care about our gun rights like to attend, to get the selfie, and use it on social media. So here's what John McGuire does. He comes to a gun rights rally in Richmond, and the exact same day, he attends a gun control rally in Richmond a couple hours later. He gets a photograph at the gun rights rally and a photograph at the gun control rally, so he can literally play both sides against the middle. It's a complete joke. If you've been to these rallies, if you've seen the radical left at these rallies, you know their goal is to completely disarm all of us in Virginia and across the country. They want us all disarmed, all helpless, and all unable to stop our own government should it become completely tyrannical. The idea that John McGuire would go to that rally and stand there side by side with all of his anti-gun Democrat colleagues, is insulting to every gun voter here in Virginia, but that's how John McGuire rules. You know, this was interesting to us a couple years ago. The Democrats pushed a bill to create these stop gun violence license plates. Now you may be thinking to yourself, you know, that's not necessarily like the worst. Well, yeah, it's not as bad as voting for gun control, but let's remember what's going on here. The gun grabbers are always trying to paint you and I as the guilty party, right? So when some madman, some criminal, some thug shoots and kills people, they want to blame you. They want to blame me. They want to blame our guns. Like somehow our firearms are responsible for the actual actions of a criminal. And that's what the whole Stop Gun Violence license plate scheme was designed to do. Put pressure on us, make us feel guilty for the actions of criminals. It was a Democrat-filed bill. McGuire could have easily voted no, but he stabbed us all in the back again, and he voted for that. It was House Bill 287, and it was February 2, 2018. So every single time McGuire looks at the gun rights issue, he tries to play at both sides. That's not a champion. As we all know by now, the real reason why McGuire is in this position is he is Kevin McCarthy's boy in this primary. Everyone knows Kevin McCarthy, former Speaker of the House, who was kicked out of the House by the conservatives, by the pro-gun champions in the chamber, because he was not trustworthy. He would tell you to your face he was pro-gun, and he'd do the exact opposite. He was kicked out of the Congress, or kicked out of the speakership anyway. He's now left Congress, and he is now active in these races, and he's looking for people like McGuire who he can control. And that is the problem with John McGuire. He plays both sides of every issue, and that certainly includes our gun rights. So guys, in conclusion, if you see Bob Good on the campaign trail, be sure and thank him for always voting no on the Biden, Pelosi, Schumer gun control agenda, and thank him for having the guts to co-sponsor the toughest, most pro-gun bills we have in this Congress. Thank him for standing up. If you see John McGuire, I'd ask this guy, I'd be like, hey, Pitbull. that still cracks me up. Hey, Pitbull, why did you attend a gun control rally? Why do you vote for Democrat pandering, lefty bills? Why are you calling for an expansion of background checks when we all know it's only being used to register gun owners? Guys, ask him the hard questions. Don't fall for the hype. Make him give you hard answers. Guys, that's our wrap up for this race. Do me a favor, share it on social media. Make sure every gun voter knows where these two candidates stand. Thank you, guys.